ਜੀ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਜੋ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਚੋਣਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੇ ਸੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਪੂਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਜੋ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਈ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਭਈ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟਸ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਹੋਊਗੇ ਬਟ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੋ ਰਿਜ਼ਲਟਸ ਆ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਨੇ ਟਰੰਪ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਇਲੈਕਟ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਜੋ ਕਾਂਗਰਸ ਲਈ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟਸੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੇ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੋਸਟਮਾਰਟਮ ਹੈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਿਆ ਸੋਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਆ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਗੁਲਰੇਜ਼ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਖਾਨ ਸੌਰੀ ਗੁਲਰੇਜ਼ ਖਾਨ ਔਰ ਅਭਿਰਾਮ ਗਰਪਤੀ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੀ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਕੈਲੀਫੋਰਨੀਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਮੀਂਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੈਦਰ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਦੱਸੋ ਸੋ ਵਾਟਸ ਦ ਵੈਦਰ ਇਨ ਟੈਕਸਸ
It's 70
Uh,
degrees today, so very beautiful.
Okay. Anyway, let's start with Gulrez Khan. Baiji, just a brief introduction to Gulrez, the first generation immigrant from India to America, candidate for Congress, and then we'll carry on with our show.
Indulged, thank you so much for having me on your show again. It's always a pleasure. And hello to my dear friend Abhiram as well. Uh, well, introducing myself, born and raised in India, originally from Chandigarh. So a very proud Punjabi, played career cricket in India. Come from a family of physicians, and in the United States, I live in Lubbock, Texas, a small business owner. Me and my friend Asif Kamar, we own a home health and hospice care company called American Star. We serve pretty much the whole of West Texas area. For the past 8 years or so, I've been an active part of the Republican Party here in Lubbock, Texas. Currently, this is my third term as a precinct chairman. Earlier this year, I was elected as a national delegate to represent Congressional District 19 to vote for presidential candidate Donald Trump. So got a chance to meet with him as well. So it was a great honor. And as you had mentioned earlier, I ran for U.S. House of Representatives, Texas District 32, which is parts of Dallas, Denton, and Collin counties, which is in North Texas. It was a blue district. It was my patriotic attempt to convert it into red. And a couple of years ago, I ran for mayor of my city of Lubbock, Texas as well, on a conservative platform. In 2020, I did get elected as a national delegate, but due to COVID, at that time, President Trump decided to do it virtually. Again, it is my pleasure and an honor to be back on your show.
Thank you, Gulrez. Abhiramji?
Gulrez bhai, thank you for being here. Inderjit ji, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. My name is Abhiram. I'm from Andhra Pradesh. I came here 25 years back. I ran for Congress 3 times in the Republican primaries from Texas District 31, which is the heart of Texas, which is Central Texas. I was also elected delegate to the National Convention from 31st Congressional District. And I'm very active here at the grassroots level. We worked very hard for this election. I also met President Trump and shook his hand when he came to Austin 3 weeks back for the Joe Rogan show. And we are excited. We worked really hard for this election at the grassroots level, and we are glad with that the people gave the result what they wanted.
Well, thank you and for the introduction. Let's go back to the election of November 5. My experience, maybe you guys will echo the same experience. It was that before pre-November 5th, the local media, the national media were, and many prominent individuals. Nancy Pelosi was saying he's got no chance of winning. There's one video clip where she's talking on CNN saying, "Why are you even talking about this guy?" Interestingly, during the primaries, uh, our governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, had also said that President Trump elect will not win. But we are sitting at a different time now. We have President Trump re-elected. He's going to be president 45 and 47, so it's a significant component of history. He will go down as probably the only second president to have two numbers after his name. And so he will be Trump 45, Trump 47. We're waiting for January 20th. But let's look back at this election. The media, in my view, had a lot of mainstream media, that is, had a lot of biases. They were pushing the Democrat agenda. Interestingly, one of the reports that came out about Oprah Winfrey being paid. I wish you guys were paying me for talking to you before, but we don't do it that way. But apparently, Oprah Winfrey, the report is that she got $1 million or something. Yes, she's got staff to pay and all the other stuff. It's an understanding that journalism is not a full fee product. If it's a full fee product, it's an infomercial. We are trying to talk and share views. We're trying to say, people who ran in the elections and listen to their views, share their views as candidates, and have a postmortem as we're trying to do now. So the first topic I want to discuss with you is the mainstream media. When you were primary candidates and during the period after, you've been active in the post-election, you went to the convention. What is your personal experience of media involvement and the media coverage? Bias, not biased, impartial. So Gulrezji, share your views as a candidate and dealing with media, and as a general member of the public watching the election come through to November 5.
Thank you for this question. A very vital, very important question. My own experience, and I'm sure Abhiram can vouch to this as well. When I was running, I was running in a liberal district for the last, it's been a blue district the last 3 terms. And I would say pretty explicitly it was biased media. All these liberal leading channels or newspapers, regardless of how I interviewed with them, the kind of debates I had, the panel discussions I had, they projected me in a light which would not make me come across as a very promising candidate. For example, and I won't name that, it's a pretty prominent national newspaper based in Texas. They talked to me about, they asked me questions about economy, about our border security, about our foreign policy, and I laid out all the data the way it is and the way we have been suffering as far as inflation goes and our insecure border goes, and broken foreign policy under Biden administration. However, rather than reflecting all these solid points I put forward, which majority of the voters, be it Republican or Democrat or Independent or Libertarian, would resonate with, the following day in the newspaper they said Gulrez Khan came across as a very right-wing candidate, extreme right-wing candidate. So they did not highlight what the content I had to share. So they painted me in a negative light. Similarly, throughout after our primary elections, and going to state and national convention and then supporting President Trump all along. Um, you turn on CNN, MSNBC, any of these channels, not Fox News. Um, they somehow they try to find they, they try to find anything negative amidst all the positives which President Trump's agenda, the GOP platform stood for. They tried to find some little uh, chink of negativity, and that's what they would try to highlight. And they try to paint him in a very negative picture. You had mentioned in the Oprah. Well, the main two issues, even if you talk to voters in general, I have my friends, and I have friends who have been historically voting Democrat. They said for us, Gulrez, it was inflation, our safety, especially border security, because we live in a border state, and of course, uh, peace in Middle East and um Eastern Europe. Uh, they did not care if they had invited Oprah Winfrey or Taylor Swift. It was a wastage of money. Democrats spending $1 billion, still losing an election outrightly, whereas Republicans, we spent $350 million. Democrats have $20 million in debt. This shows, regardless of how negatively they try to paint a um, picture about Republicans and President Trump and his character, they could not um, sustain. And in fact, when I went to national convention, being a man of color myself, they were. I was interviewed by somebody from NBC, and there were a lot of so-called liberal channels, and they were surprised by my um, um, support for America First, and they were pretty confused that I was not criticizing the Republican Party, and often the questions I got, even from after the election, right, election night from Republican Party, they said, "Well, we have um, heard over a period of time the Republican Party is a divisive party." I said, "Well, look at me. I'm a prime example. It's not divisive at all. In fact, when I went to national convention, I saw so many elected national delegates, and amidst them, there were a lot which ran for United States, Congress and senatorial primaries as well. They are from immigrant, South Asian background. So all this narrative they're trying to portray, uh, which was uncalled for. In the end, the party which stands for and which stood for the right values, American values, are um, values of freedom and opportunity and limited government, which the Republican Party um, came out successful.
Thank you, Gulrezji. Abhiramji, your experience with media.
First of all, spending $1 billion will not win you an election. That's a great message that the American people sent to everybody. Money does not win elections, and the media hype was unbelievable. The last 2 to 3 weeks before the election, the liberal media hyped up so much that Trump is a fascist, Trump is a racist, Trump is a Hitler, a Nazi. It's unbelievable how much negativity and hatred they spread. And it's today. Trump was invited to the Biden White House. Biden was talking to him. Just 3 weeks back, he was calling him a fascist. It's unbelievable how much the media has lost its complete credibility today. Nobody believes in the media anymore. It's people have so many other sources of news today, like on Twitter and podcasts, that the media has become irrelevant, especially the large TV networks that used to shape the public opinion a few years back. This election has proved that media has completely gone overboard as a party spokespeople rather than the facts and standing for the people. And actually, the media did a disservice to the Democrat by not questioning them at various points and just singing their praises and their bandwagon. and that's got exposed highly in the when the election results came out. And one more thing I just want to point out, I'm wearing a shirt today which says, I hope you can see it, it's 4547. It's for the president, Trump. So anyway, the media is completely gone overboard, and we are happy with the results. And there are a lot of changes going to be as far as the big media is concerned in the U.S.
Thank you on that. And moving off from that media topic, has been, like both of you have said, and Abhiram just said it, the media was exposed in their so-called non-biased coverage. There was a topic that was pretty heavy in this election go around, and that was immigration. Both of you, me included, are classified as first generation immigrants. You came directly from India, I came via England. That's the only difference. But in the US, we are first generation immigrants. We came through the front door. We went through the processes. We did what we needed to do, submit our applications, get our visas, and come and land at San Francisco, at Dallas, at Houston, wherever our main first point of entry was. There are many Indians, South Asians included, who have come to America as what they say, Punjabi, number do. It means you came not the number one way, but the number two way. You came through the back door. Sometimes you've come over on a student visa and you decide to stay. Sometimes you came as a visitor and you chose to stay. So basically, yes, there are South Asians who came illegally as a point of entry, but they went through the process of becoming legal. And in doing so, they went and hired a lawyer, they shared their case, the lawyer fought the case, and they got the immigration status for a green card. What we're seeing right now over the last few years, people are coming across, and yes, some of those are South Asians. They're coming over from the southern border primarily. There was a case a couple of years back of a family from India, Gujarat, who came through Canada. Why they tried to do that, I don't know, because Canada to me is a pretty stable economic environment where a lot of our South Asians live. But they decided to come over in the winter months, get stuck in the snow, and actually lost their lives, including the life of their child. The authorities have, I believe, arrested or they're investigating individuals who might have been involved in that passage as traffickers or coyotes, whatever we want to call them. The news or the history or the facts are we have South Asians who have come here legally through the channels, through the front door, and through the back door. The issue is the number of people who've come over 20, 30, 50,000 a month are coming through a day, and it became a hot topic. Is the border secure? According to our vice president, it was secure. According to many others in your borderline state, it wasn't. Over the past few years, many of these immigrants were shipped by a plane or bus to other states. We know they went to New York. Mayor Adams has raised that issue. We know they went to Chicago. They've talked about it. We know they went to Martha's Vineyard. And guess what? They took them out of Martha's Vineyard just as fast as they got there. During this election cycle, the Trump campaign argued against the border situation. They argued for secure borders, and their biggest issue was criminals. Now, what we're being told is the policies of the new administration coming in will arrest and deport illegal immigrants, criminal illegal immigrants first. We just had the case of Miss Riley. The criminal in that case just got sentenced. We've had a few other criminal cases that have been highlighted, identified as illegal immigrants. But as immigrants yourself, having experienced this campaign, now in the position where we have a nominee for dealing with the immigration, we have the Secretary of State, we have various other nominations for administrative office. What is your take from the people around you that you were campaigning with, the people that you meet with, and the national consensus on immigration? Where do you think the nation is? Not where the media told us it was, not for justifying their successes, their input into economy. You both are successful. You've contributed to the economy, but you came here legally. These people haven't. But I don't think it's the fact that they are coming illegally. It's the quantity or the number that are coming in and the impact it's having on local communities. And if the impact was not there on local communities, why was Mayor Adams raising the issue? So, Abhiramji, your experience and your sort of undertaking, not understanding of the people around you on this issue of immigration.
Inderjit ji, great question. We have an overwhelming mandate from the people of this country to fix the immigration problem. I can honestly tell you, having met the president, he loves Indians, he loves immigrants, he is totally in favor of legal immigration. Even Tom Homan, our new border czar, has mentioned numerous times we want people coming here legally. So any legal immigrant need not worry about what's going to happen. We are going to take good care of them. The issue comes with all the criminal migrant, illegal immigrants who are here in this country because of the Biden Harris open border policies in the last 4 years. So those are the people we don't want in this country, and we definitely want to deport them. And this government is actually very serious. They now have a huge mandate from the American people to fix the immigration border crisis, and we are going to act on it, and we are going to do what is best for the country. And again, to your viewers, if you are a legal immigrant in the US, you have absolutely nothing to fear. And this government loves legal immigrants, and they love immigrants, and we have no issues to worry about in this current Trump administration.
Thank you, Ji. Gulrez bhai.
Abhiram, very well said. Adding on to what Abhiram just shared, Rajini, absolutely. President Trump, a few months ago, uh, he was interviewed, and he says, somebody coming in legally to the United States to study. I mean, he's all even willing to offer a green card after this international student, he or she completes her education in the United States. So what President Trump is saying is, to Abhiram's point, is come to the United States legally, and there should be a merit-based system. Now, illegal immigration, it's not that we are not a humanitarian country. I mean, uh, we have plans to, we have, let in people who have persecuted by the governments, um, even during President Trump's early administration. What he's saying is, uh, we live on the border state, and we feel those aftermaths of Harris's failed border policy, even in North Texas or West Texas. I ran for when I ran for Congress, it was North Texas. Until actually a couple of months ago, there was news that these Venezuelan gangs, illegal gangs, they have also made their way into some of those neighborhoods in Dallas, Texas, and they were creating a chaos. And it being a blue district, which supports defunding police, the citizens of those areas did not have any say. So that any country or any state would not allow that, let alone Republicans. Secondly, in the past few years, there have been over 25,000 illegal Chinese able-bodied young men entering in the United States. So the way China has this global imperialistic designs, this makes, as an American, uh, makes me suspicious of their motive. Thirdly, we have record amount of fentanyl coming in into the United States. Even where I live in West Texas, we had our county sheriff give us a presentation some months ago, and I was appalled by the amount of fentanyl already being smuggled uh, in you know Texas and in West Texas. So this needs to stop. And also, we have witnessed criminals from prisons in the Latin American countries during the Biden-Harris administration coming in record numbers through the southern border in the United States. So what President Trump is saying is um, that safety of our Americans is first. Unfortunate situation with Lake and Riley, and I'm glad that that person has been convicted and found guilty. It should not happen in the first place. If we had a secure border, we should have had a sealed border with a wall. That would have really taken care, have prevented this person from even coming in illegally to the United States. So legal immigration, yes, this is what the GOP mandate is, President Trump's mandate is. Merit system, yes, but not illegally, where to expect these people commit crimes with innocent Americans. So the secretaries, the cabinet secretaries, which President Trump has nominated, I hope and pray that they get confirmed by the both House and the Congress, and especially the nomination for Homeland Security. That gentleman has a very solid record. He was a director of one of the branches of Homeland Security during President Trump's first administration. So I'm positive, I'm hopeful he'll provide the right leadership on the southern border, which is required for the safety of Texans and Americans.
Thank you on that. And there's a lot of sentiment over the election, and we're hearing that post-election from many of the media outlets concerning the nominations. We've already seen Matt Gaetz pulling out of the nomination. Not to get too deep onto that type of stuff. Uh, let's wait for the nominations to be confirmed and seated. So technically on that stuff, what the new administration is putting in place, we can maybe look at that come January 21. But during this election, I remember from the past election, I believe of 92, when Bill Clinton got elected, the key phrase of the Democratic Party was, "Is the economy stupid?" That's how they ran it. And in many ways, what was happening with the economy in those days, their phrase was very hitting. It was on target, it hit the community. What we need to do is look at the economy. We've been told that the economy has been good, it's on full speed. But what I've been seeing is a lot of layoffs. And one report I saw this morning is Boeing announcing more layoffs. Many other companies have announced them, tech companies in the Bay Area. Where we are economically. We understand, we accept that we had issues in COVID, but we've come out of COVID. We're still dealing with some of the issues that come from the COVID saga. Work from home, keep your masks on, and all the mandates that were there. We've seen the economy as it is. We've seen inflation in the high numbers. Where do you see the policies that are being proposed by the new administration, in particular, the so-called tariffs? Many people have told me that the cost of living is going to go up because of tariffs. My view is different from that because the tariffs are going to go on imports and it will promote local products. If I don't want to buy the TV manufactured in China because the price just went up, I most likely will buy something made in America. And that price should not be going up. However, some of the components that go in assembled in America are coming from abroad. How do you think the 2025 year will pan out on the basis of expected tariffs? And the second one on this tax proposals that are coming from President-elect. So individually, what are your views on that? What do you expect come 2025? Gulrez ji.
As you know, this is I think one of the top two initiatives which won Republican President Trump election. You had mentioned a phrase from Bill Clinton's election in '92. Uh, this economy, it cannot be simpler. Regardless of what high-profile celebrities, Democrats wasted the taxpayers' money on. The crux of the matter, especially the whole last 4 years, since 1982, summer of 2022, we had 4-year high inflation. And Joe Biden was in office for 2.5 years ago. So what we are seeing right now is unprecedented. Our debt is right now over $25 billion. We had a pandemic not too long ago. People lost their livelihoods, people lost their jobs, and financially, it was a disaster. Even now, the Inflation Reduction Act of Biden and Harris did nothing. Uh, Instead, it increased our cost of goods and commodities, groceries exponentially. So Republicans spoke to the masses of America. Now, under President Trump, what he has proposed, firstly, under this economy umbrella, there's inflation control. There's a focus to be on lowering inflation through supply side economic measures and potentially tighter monetary policies and collaboration effectively. Secondly, focus on deregulation, which would entail continuation of federal regulation to encourage business growth, uh, tax policies, potential for additional tax cuts, similar to the tax cuts and Jobs Act of 2017, which was aimed at corporation and individual. And that at that time when President Trump had initiated his tax reform, this was the first tax reform, by the way, since 1970. This topic also includes manufacturing and energy independence, with an emphasis on bringing jobs back to the United States and reducing reliance on them. And lastly, I'd say trade policies, which would be likely, which are actually push America first, potentially providing tariffs or I'd say renegotiating international trade. So that is fair to the businesses, manufacturers in the United States.
Thank you, Gulrezji. Abhiram, on the economy, the tariffs, expected tax cuts.
So, in the tariffs are not something new. John Adams was the first to do tariffs way back to increase the revenues for America. I think the tariffs are a great idea that will help us uh, get more manufacturing jobs back to the US. It's not a harmful thing. It's going to increase our manufacturing, increase our productivity in the US, and our economy is going to be great in the next 4 years. The president is extremely focused on reducing the interest rates, reducing the inflation, and making more things in America, and fixing the problem of deficit with other countries, trade deficits. And we have to address this monster in the room. Especially, we can't be selling $100 worth of goods to China and importing almost $1,000 worth of goods. There is a huge trade imbalance with China and other countries that's going on right now. And the only way we can fix that problem is by imposing tariffs. Most of these countries do impose tariffs. You can't go and sell an American car in Japan or in South Korea. They don't let us do that, and uh, we should be fair, but we can be taken for a granted, and that's exactly what President Trump is going to do. And he understands how businesses work and what is good for America, and he's a hard negotiator. He's going to use tariffs as a negotiating tool more than anything, and he will do trade deals he did with NAFTA with Canada and Mexico during his first administration. I think we are on a great path for the next 4 years, and I advise all your viewers that the economy will really improve, and we are going to have some good times ahead.
Yep. Well, thank you on that. And in the interest of time, just briefly, what is your perspective? What do you expect that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy may achieve through their new appointment of Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge? I recall there was a cryptocurrency called Doge, but not trying to compare the two. Um, but these two individuals, again, business owners, successful in their own rights in the businesses that they've ran. Do you think they will accomplish anything in the 2 years that they have? Because their target is 2026, July 4th. They want to have proposals or suggestions to improve government efficiencies. Um, Abhiramji, where do you think Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will have an impact, specifically for their role? Their Democrats are challenging their appointments and everything else that's associated with it. We'll leave that aside. Really don't think we need to discuss those. The media is going to do that for us. But where do you see, as business owners, the impact from government efficiency?
In the GG, I love this question. Let me say honestly, they did a study recent week, and it was found that only 17%, 17% of federal government employees are going to the office today. The rest of 83% are working from home and doing other jobs. And the Elon Musk and Vivek want to do a 5-day mandate return to office. And with that, they're expecting at least 1 million federal employees to quit. And they have a high goal of accomplishing at least 2 trillion, to cut 2 trillion out of the 7 trillion federal budget. And you know what? Elon Musk has a track record. He has eliminated 80% of Twitter employees, and Twitter is working fine. So what were these 80% employees doing before? That is the high level of bureaucracy bloat existing in the in the companies or in the federal government, and we need to get rid of these excess jobs. We need to get rid of these regulations, all this. So the Doge is an excellent, innovative idea, which is disruptive idea, which is required America. And I love the way Elon and Vivek are approaching this mandate to eliminate a lot of federal bureaucracy and bloat that is currently existing. And you know, one more thing, why Trump gave the deadline of July 4th, 2026. That is going to be the 250th anniversary of the birth of America. It will be 250 years old on July 4th, 2026. And we want a government that is efficient, for the people, by the people, and of the people. And that's a great deadline. And we are going to accomplish that goal.
Well, thank you on that, Abhiram. Gulrez ji.
Abhiram put it very well into words. You know, I got a chance to meet, and Abhiram did as well, Vivek Ramaswamy during our national convention. He was actually one of our speakers also for the Texas delegation in Wisconsin. See, both these gentlemen, Elon Musk, richest man in the world, Vivek Ramaswamy, very successful entrepreneur, with very high net worth. So these people are, you know, actually they're very rich people who are jumping into the political arena for the betterment of America. You cannot get more patriotic than that. So I really am excited to see the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency and the $2 trillion being cut from our $22 trillion economy and the $7 trillion federal budget. It will mean the world to Americans. And the way they have already started working on cutting down streamlining the processes, uh, taking off the unnecessary positions, the unrequired bureaucracy. Uh, the data Abhiram shared, like 18% are coming back, and they had been working from home ever since COVID started. Well, it's unfair to other Americans. All these people have all these federal positions, and at the same time, they're not being very efficient with them, and therefore wasting the taxpayers' dollars. Absolutely. I'm very confident that both Mr. Musk and Mr. Ramaswamy uh, will be able to accomplish that within the uh, next 2 years. And my prayer is that on our 250th anniversary of our great United States, 4th of July 2026, they will be able to accomplish this.
And thank you, both of you. There are actually a lot more topics we can talk about, but in the interest of the clock that keeps ticking, we have to sort of abide by the time allocations. Um, so, in concluding this episode where we discussed the election in conceptual terms, each of you, in a sort of a concluding concept, the question I have for you is what plans do you have for 26, 28? Are you going to be candidates again? How are you going to be involved? Briefly, so we can conclude on time, if you can share what your future plans are. Abhiramji, 30 seconds.
Inderjit, first let me tell your viewers there is a job application right now. They can go into X and apply for a position at Doge. it doesn't pay anything, and you have to work 80 hours a week. So any of your viewers are more than welcome to get a new job in the Doge administration. And my plans, I submitted my bio to the new Trump administration, expecting for a position there. And if I get it, I will move to Washington and start working in that role. I will know in a couple of weeks what position I'll get. Second thing, I'm actively campaigning right now. I'm already running for 2026 for the Republican primary from my 31st congressional district as of now.
Okay. Gulrez ji.
Well, Indulged, again, thank you for having us on your show. So right now, I'm a active member of the Lubbock Republican Party, so continue to work with our party and work in tandem with this appointments of President Trump's cabinet. And my understanding is he has to appoint after January 20th a total of 4,000 appointments. So my hope is that I get appointed to some kind of a board position or a committee assignment where I'd be happy to share my experience, be it in healthcare or in politics, even foreign policy. 2026, I have not decided yet. I may run for Congress again, probably from the same district I ran earlier, 32, or may not. But I will continue to, serve our great Republican Party, especially being a precinct chairman. And I'm also recently got appointed as a chairman of permanent chairman of the Resolutions and Rules Committee here in the Lubbock County. So we'll continue to support our great party, President Trump, and our great nation. Thank you.
Well, thank you guys. We wish you success for both of your upcoming aspirations. And if you do become candidates, Abhiram already said he is. We look forward to you sharing with us how your campaign is progressing, and we'll have the time to do that as and when situations arise. Some new events happen, you launch your campaign. And as far as these appointments, let us know. We'll talk about what you're going to be doing once you've been sort of given the assignment. So, wish you success on that. All the best for the upcoming year. It should be a good year, at least for us, because 25 is going to be impacted by November 5th that we just went through. Um, Looking forward to that. Looking forward to discussing further with you as things come across in the near future. And let us know when you get a favorable response back from the new administration. And look forward to sharing and working with you in the future ahead of us. And hopefully 26, if you're running as candidates, you're successful. But let's share it together. It's a journey, and to have two South Asians engaged, and sort of from a view that the media has found not too popular, it's a very encouraging sort of a time of our country. We have had successes. We have a few members elected in California to the local assembly. We have congressional members. But on your side, Republicans, we did have Bobby Jindal, we did have Nikki Haley. So it's not a desert, but it would be nicer if we had more people. So wish you all the best in that respect. Thank you for your time today, and look forward to chatting with you again in the near future.
I really appreciate you giving an opportunity. Thank you so much. We both are path breakers in the Republican Party. We will be the first first Muslim or Hindu, our first South Asian to win for Congress in the Republican Party, and both of us have a chance. And you're giving us an opportunity means a lot. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and we will be in touch as we progress in our careers.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Inderjit
and
ji.
I appreciate your involvement. Thank you to both of you. And but we need to take a break. They actually tried to cut us out, so let's conclude, and we'll keep chatting offline or directly on the phone or something like that. So let's stay in touch. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਗੁਲਰੇਜ਼ ਖਾਨ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਤੋਂ ਔਰ ਅਭਿਰਾਮ ਗਰਪਤੀ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਟੈਕਸਸ ਤੋਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਕਾਂਗਰੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਮਰੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਹੈਗੇ ਸੀ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਿਪਬਲਿਕਨ ਕਨਵੈਨਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਸੀ ਦੱਸ ਸਕੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੋਸਟ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ ਦੇਵੋ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਗਲੀ ਵਾਰੀ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਸਾਂਝੀ ਸੋਚ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਦਰਜੀਤ ਕਾਲੀਰਾਏ